showcasing later, but I wanted to get a little bit practical. I wanted to make sure that when you think of those loved ones in your life, and it could be even in your household, that everybody is safe and healthy and protected. And we know it's cold and flu season, and we know if you've ever had a little one, how hard it is to find that glass thermometer and get it underneath their tongue. They fight you every single time. Well, we have a touchless way to get an accurate temperature each and every single time. It's coming to us from Revitalife. This is the touchless infrared non-contact thermometer. We have it for you in purple. We have it for you in white. We also have it for you in blue. On our Black Friday deal with the 5 interest-free credit card payments, it makes it only $4 to get it home. And it is so simple to do. In fact, Joe Harrison is standing by.
Hey,
he was lurking in the corner over there.
I love what you've done with the patio.
Thank you. Yes.
The decorations are great.
All my personal decorations.
Very comfy out there.
Yeah, it is. It's
good to
nice
see
and
you.
cozy.
It's very
enough
cozy.
to sit down and take my temperature if I needed to.
Oh, absolutely.
You've been really popular this week, and I thought, you know, we show a lot of giftables that can be personalized and could be a little bit glamorous, but this one really hit home for me because I feel like this is one of those pieces of mind, right, in your home to make sure that everybody has.
Oh, absolutely. And every home should have one, especially
Absolutely.
as we're starting cold and flu season, as we're getting out in the cold weather, you're coming in and you're feeling it's like something's going on. And what we've learned is that when you have that elevated temperature, it's easy to be able to get a thermometer and then see if you have that elevated temperature. Do you stay at home or do you go to the doctor to see what's going on? And there are a tremendous amount of thermometers to choose from. There are expensive ones, there are cheap ones, there are ones that are in the middle. There are FDA approved ones that start at $45, $50, $55 that are out there. And then there are ones in the drugstore where you pick off the shelf and they're not FDA certified and there's no medical claims behind them. And what happens is you're taking your temperature with one of those and then you don't know if it's accurate or if it's inaccurate.
Is 97.3 accurate for you?
That is for me. I'm 97.1, 97.3. That is kind of my range where I run. My wife runs a little hotter. My daughter's kind of in the middle. But the great thing is, when you're using this one, compared to a traditional thermometer, this one is FDA certified. So Val's 97.9 is 100% accurate. The team from Revitalife has a team from the FDA that comes to the factory every year and checks to make sure the machines that are calibrating your thermometer, they're 100% accurate.
Love that.
Not too many thermometer companies do that, but Revitalife wants to make sure it is going to be that accuracy. And when you think about your temperature, if you're feeling hot, and say you're running, you use an everyday thermometer, and it gives you a 99-degree reading, you're thinking, okay, I'm fine with that, I can be home. But in reality, you're 103. That is a major issue that you should be going to the doctor to try to get addressed versus just staying at home. That's why the importance of having an infrared thermometer. But the display on here, very big, LCD, very easy to see. The scan button down there on the bottom, you tap that one button and you're scanning it. All you have to do is scan just about 1.5 inches away from the surface and it instantly gives you that read. It also has a 30 temperature log on the bottom. So when you call the doctor and the doctor's like, what has your temperature been? You can go back and read exactly what has been done. But when you see that being touch-free, think about the last time you took the temperature of something. Was it that old mercury stick that you used to put under your tongue or under your arm and you're supposed to hold it there for 30 or 45 seconds and then you take it out and you're trying to read the tiny little lines? Or when we had, with my kids, we had the ones that went across the top of your forehead, and it was those touch versions. And those are very inaccurate as well. And if I have one kid that's not sick and the other one that is, and I'm going from one to the next, now I'm crossing the germs from one to the next.
Oh my gosh.
This, Valerie, you tap it and then instantly gives you that read.
It absolutely does. If you want the blue that Joe is holding, though, we now have less than 300. That is the most popular. That will be the first to sell out. At $4, I would get one of each. I know, again, it's not necessarily the most glamorous gift. It makes great stocking stuffer. Maybe it's the new mom. Maybe it is, you know, I heard you and Debbie talking about different places like at church. It could be the nursery or the Sunday school teacher. There are so many different individuals. Maybe it's just the babysitter that, you know, comes over and they would never in a million years know how to use that mercury thermometer, the glass one, right? And quite frankly, I've never enjoyed using them either. You put them under your tongue. It takes a few minutes. This is so easy and simple. You can even take your own temperature or someone else's and you're not touching them. And I'm still 97.9. Do you see what's happening? And just to show you that this same one is going to, I'm going to go to my hand, because I want you guys to see that it is giving you that accurate reading. So on my hand is only reading 96.4, yet you always want to take it, if you can, on your forehead. So there it is at 98. So you can see that very, very down to that decimal pinpoint accuracy, which is so important. And again, as we go into the depths of it being cold and snowy and rainy, maybe you don't live very close to that walk-in clinic or near your doctors, or maybe your pediatrician's on vacation. This data, this information is what you and I were talking about, is just being that game-changing moment of how severe is it, right?
Exactly.
How quickly do we need to respond? If you want the blue, you've got to be ordering it now. 838-328 is your item number. I think white is really easy. You can't go wrong if you want to stock up and get a couple. And then we also have it for you in the purple. Now, do these just take batteries?
Just regular AA batteries in there,
perfect.
so it's going to last you, even if you're using it, it's going to last you years, and just replace the batteries as you need. And not only does it do the skin temperature, it also does surface temperatures too.
Oh.
And I've got two glasses in front of me. One's cold, one's hot. And all you have to do is you put it right in front on the surface temp, and you hit scan the temp, and it tells you that glass of ice is 49.4 degrees. So if you're trying to measure the cold items, you got it. And then if you're coming over here to the hot water, it's 101.1 degrees.
Wow.
Now I bring this up because as you're having kids and putting them in the bath water, a lot of us, how do we measure bath water? You put your wrist.
Your own skin,
Yeah,
yeah,
you're
yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh, that's
yeah.
great.
Yeah.
But there's no science behind, this being in there. There's nothing tells you if it's too
Right.
hot or not. That's 101 degrees. I can easily put my hand in there as an adult. It's no problem. You shouldn't put kids in bath water that's over 100 degrees. And a lot of times when it comes out of your pipe, it's around 140 degrees. So Valerie, you might be thinking, oh, that's great for me, but you put a kid in there, it's way too hot.
So even like when you think about making formula, if you want to test formula, or maybe you have someone that, you're a caregiver for somebody, you might be having to take care of them and giving them food or drinks. This is going to test that surface temperature, which is really important. I've got to tell you, I've got neuropathy. So I actually am extremely sensitive to cold and hot temperatures.
Oh, sure.
So for me personally, what might be kind of scalding to me, might feel really hot, might be okay to Joe. So I love that you have that secondary feature on it. If you want the blue, they are telling me right now that blue is about to sell out. Okay, there's less than 150 and everybody's picking up multiples. You might think about this for the college age student, somebody that's going out for the very first time and mom and dad aren't gonna be there to be able to take your temperature, right? This is like having that little nurse there for you to make sure you get that accurate temperature. So if you want the blue, pick it up now. There are over 12,700 of these that have been picked up. White is a no-brainer. It's easy, you can't miss it. It's also very classic, it makes a great gift. And then purple. Again, maybe you know that this one is for your sister's household, this one's for yours, this is for your son's household. $4 is nothing to have that peace of mind to know that, Joe, I don't have to come over. Let's say you say, oh, I'm not feeling so good, right? You and I, we're not related.
Sure.
I really don't know that if you tell me you're not feeling good, I want to come at you with my hand
Exactly.
and I want to touch your forehead and so I could literally say, Joe, take your own temperature.
Like say, Val, do I trust you? You're 97.6 degrees, and that's one of those things where we know when we have that elevated temperature, you're fighting something that, let's stay home, whether we should be able to treat this at home or go to the doctor. Absolutely.
It's a key warning to know when you start feeling elevated and also just having that 30 reading, I read a different kind of status quo temperature as my husband.
Sure,
so
absolutely.
I know that like if I'm over 99, I have a whole degree of a temperature versus him, he runs hotter. He's hotter, right, Bill? Yes. Okay. I see Bill talking in the corner. I couldn't out myself. Okay, listen, there's got to find some humor and some levity to it because again, I know that this is a practical gift, but I also want you to think of maybe not just the holiday season. I have a lot of friends having babies or sending their babies, off to a babysitter or nursery for the first time. This is giving them the help that they need to know exactly what's going on each and every day. $4 to get this one home, $4 to get that one home, $4, and you're saving on the shipping and handling. So here's what's happening. If you want to jump to the front of the line, use the QR code on your screen, or you can go to hsn.com and place your order. You can use the app as well. If you want the blue, we are going to be counting down on the blue as the first one to sell out. So that's this one right here, white and purple. 838-328 is your item number. I can see why this is so popular, Joe, because again, more than just your body temperature, I love the surface temperature feature
especially
as well.
as you're taking care of others. Whether it's a senior citizen or your kids, you want to make sure the temperature is that accurate temperature, so the surface temperature really does make a difference, especially if you're talking about hot tea, and or even my neighbor, she has a little tiny dog, and she goes out there and checks the temperature of the pool decking to make sure it's not too hot for the pets. You never know when you're going to need it, but it's nice to know that you have something that's accurate, because you will find a tremendous amount of thermometers that are out there. Most of them are not FDA certified. This one is, but usually the FDA certifieds are $45, $50, $55. This gets certified every year to make sure that accurate temperature is 100%. So as soon as I scan my temperature, it tells me I'm 96.9 degrees. That's right in my perfect range right there. Like Valerie mentioned, she runs a little bit hotter than me. Everybody has their normal temp, but you know that difference when you're feeling a little warm, you scan the temp, and then you can instantly tell, okay, I need to take Sudafed or I need to go to the doctor.
Right.
That makes a big difference. And then I think about my sisters who are both teachers. We sent them, each one has one of these because they're dealing with kids all the time and they don't have to worry about getting sick. They have one. My wife and I, we travel a lot. My wife puts one of these in our medical kit. So as we're traveling with our medicine, like, is this something that we can, if someone of us is running sick, we can just handle the medicine, or do we need to find an urgent care while we're on the road? Because it's small, Valerie, it's not something big and bulky you have to worry about. It makes it convenient to carry.
And there's no cords. You don't have to plug it in anywhere. It's not going to break. It's not like glass. I love that you said when you travel, because how often have you been on the road, whether you're in the car or you're at a hotel, and someone goes, I don't feel good, and you go to do one of these? How accurate is that, right? So I love that, and we'll just show you close up. Like, I can take my own temperature, so you can be in control of that. Nobody has to come over. And see, I'm 98. I keep going 97.9 to 98. Even if I run it again, I'm still 98. Other side of my forehead, 98. So you see the accuracy? It is that pinpoint accuracy. It's why over 13,000 have been picked up. Again, it's just something you should absolutely have. We've come a long way, right? We're not using our rotary phones anymore, right? We're past and beyond a lot of that old technology. When you go into a doctor's office or a nurse's office, they're not sticking a thermometer in your mouth. They're using a touchless thermometer. This is that beautiful advanced technology that now you own and you have at home. Okay, blue is now gone. So congratulations. I wonder how glued down this one is. Oh, look at me just making a mess over here.
It's great.
Rip it off. Okay, well, it's gone. So if you want, sorry, if you want this purple and white, Jared, which one is the next one that's more limited? Okay, purple is now the one that is most limited. We now have less than 700 of you that can get it in purple. They both work identically. They also come in a great box, which is gonna have all your instructions.
Absolutely.
Right, which it's really easy.
It's very simple. All you have to do, the main instruction is hold it about 1.5 inches to 2 inches away from your forehead. And this is taking temperature for you. As my kids were growing up, I would have paid $1 million to have a thermometer while my kids were sleeping. I could have gone up and just tapped them.
Right.
Because when they're sleeping and you have a baby who's out cold but it's very sick, and then you try to wake them up to get the temperature, it is a nightmare. But to be able to just do it in less than a second, just tap that one button and you instantly get that read, that is truly priceless. And because it's touch-free, you think about the other options we have. It's the thermometer sticks that you'd put in your mouth, where you're holding it for 30, 45 seconds, who knows what the time is, and then you try to read those tiny little lines, you can't even read them. And then they have the ones that were in the ear, across the forehead, but now you have to touch somebody who's potentially sick, and then if you use it on somebody else, now you're potentially passing the germs. This, you just hold it 1.5 inches from your forehead, hit the big scan button that's on the front, and it gives you that accurate reading every single time. I'm 97.1 to 96.9. That's kind of my range, and there I am, 97.0, right in that middle. That is 100% accurate. And the reason why I can say that, this isn't an everyday thermometer. This is FDA certified. It gets tested every year to make sure that reading is 100% accurate, because the worst thing that can happen, Val, is if you feel like you're sick, and you have an inaccurate reading, but in reality, you're elevated, you should be going to the doctor. This tells you whether it's serious or not.
And you can use it as often as you want. You don't have to wait. You know, remember the glass ones you said, oh, did you have anything to drink in the last 30 minutes? Because it would adjust the temperature of your mouth. So over 13,400 picked up. Remember, blue is gone. We have purple and we have white. And also just one other thing, it's easy to sanitize. You can just wipe it down with a wipe. So again, if you're handing it off to someone, you're not kind of cross-contaminating any germs. On a Black Friday deal, very, very popular. I'm so happy that you guys are picking up multiples of these and $4 to get home on FlexPay. Joe,
Valerie,
you should come back to Gifts for the Gal another time. There's only 3 more shows after today.
Oh no, I'd love to be back.
Okay, you'll come back. Who's the best gift giver in your life?
It's my wife. She's the best. She's the glue of the
Always.
family. Yep.
Always, right? Always the right answer. Let's see if I got any hotter. No, I got cooler. I'm getting cooler, baby. 97.8. 98. Okay. Thank you, Joe, so very much. And thank you all for your orders. Okay, so my producer is so cute. He just said, would you like to have a tan in the winter? Yes, Jay.